be very good devotee, but I can see honestly that I have some other kinds of desires. So what to do? Instead of being discouraged, we should pray humbly to Krishna and honestly say, Krishna, please, I have this desire. You take care of them. Meanwhile, I want to serve you. And then just keep the faith in Krishna. Will take care of our desires, and later on also purify them. Because the main thing is that we want to be happy. We come to this material world, and everybody here wants to be happy. Somebody here wants to be unhappy, wants to be unhappy? No. Everybody wants to be happy. Yeah. So the point is that we are looking for the happiness in the wrong place. We are just going in the wrong place. And I was remembering while I was reading this purport one past time that Lakshmi Muni Mataji was saying, and she's a Prabhupada disciple, and she was saying that, she said the whole point that this material world is temporary and is full of suffering. He said, if you understand that, then you will understand, okay, let's move on, let's do something, to move on from this place. And she said, there is an example that there is one story, that one day there was a kingdom and there was a princess, because wherever there is a kingdom, there is a king and there is a princess usually. And this princess had a precious jewel. And she was walking in the park, and this jewel, she lost her jewels. So my English is a little bit strange because I'm Italian. If you listen some strange word, you can correct me, because it's... So this lady was walking and she lost her jewel. And she went to her father and she said, oh, my dear father, I lost my jewel, I just lost my jewel. Now I want it. And the father said, no problem. We go and we buy another jewel. Or we make a jewel exactly as the one that you lost. Is that fine for you? And she said, no, because I want that one. And the father said, but I can create another one very similar to that. And she said, no, I'm attached to that, so I want that one. You know, usually ladies are like that. If they want something, it's very difficult to let them change mind. So the father said, okay. And he said, yes, Shirada Manishwara ki jai, Jagaras Bharvara Deva ki jai, Giri Gordhan ki jai, Shri ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, Jagannath is fine. And so the father said, okay, let's do one thing. I will say that whoever finds this jewel, I will give to that person half part of my kingdom. So if you say that, many persons will imagine if they give you half of the kingdom. And then the father thought, oh, but if I find by myself, then I don't have to give up half of my kingdom. So he engaged all this like minister, and everybody was looking in the whole kingdom, they were looking for this jewel. And people from all around, they were looking, trying to find this jewel. And at one point, one man said, oh, I saw it, I can see the jewel, but I cannot take it. And all the people gathered there, and there was a lake. And so they were digging the lake, they were going down, they were just going everywhere and trying to find this jewel, but they could not see the jewel. And so all the king and all the person were there assembled and tried to find out this jewel. At one point, Narada Muni was traveling there. You know who is Narada Muni? Narada Muni is this transcendental devotee. You can go from the spiritual world and the material world, you can go everywhere. And his only business is to give Krishna to others. Usually he comes chanting on his instrument, his veena, he chants the name of Radhika, Radha and Krishna. And his only mission is to give Krishna and to make devotee. So he was traveling there, and he said, and he saw all these people assembled, and he said, oh, let me go and see what's happening, something is happening there. And he arrived there, and he said, what's happening? And the king said, oh, there is, we are trying to find this jewel. He said the whole story. And Radha Muni said, he became very curious, and he said, oh, I also want to find this jewel. And then he went to the top of the tree, and he saw the jewel, and he started laughing. And all the people they could just hear Narada Muni was laughing on the top of the tree, the branch. And they said, well, why is he laughing? And he came down and he said, you know, I found a jewel. And they said, where it was? He said, it was on the top of the branches. And what you thought it was a jewel was just a reflection in the water. This is why you could not get the jewel, because you were looking in the wrong place. And so Lakshmi Muni was making the point is that if you want to be happy in the material world, you cannot find happiness in the material world. If you try to find happiness in the material world, maybe you will find a reflection, which means that will not last, and at the end it will give you even suffering. So if you want to find happiness, you have to check on the spiritual side. And here Prabhupada gave many examples. He says that usually when we naturally love Krishna, so when we come in the material world, our propensity to love him become lust. So we become, instead of serve Krishna, when we come in the material world, we say, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. And whoever can help me in getting those things is my friend. Whoever doesn't help me is my enemy. So I have to get out of these people, get out of my way. And usually when when we don't get what we want, we become very angry. It happens sometimes to everyone. You want something, you don't get it, and then you go, how can I not take that? And become and just when you become angry, your intelligence is lost, because it's like eyes become red and you just fume and you cannot think properly. What you say in those circumstances usually is not what you really think, or you may hurt someone and you may like damage relationship or something like that. So this is material world. This is what happens when we do something for our pleasure, just to please ourselves. Instead, and one can think, okay, then forget it, because I have lust, I have anger, so how can I use in Krishna consciousness? Because, this is the reality. And so Prabhupada said that these two things, lust and anger, we can use in Krishna consciousness. The only thing that we cannot use is envy. But even lust and anger we can use. Like for example, there was Kubja. Kubja, when Krishna was working, Kubja was a lady who was serving Kamsa. Kamsa, you all know Kamsa. So she was preparing some sandalwood for him. But when she saw Krishna, she was not thinking, oh, this is the Supreme Personality of God, and I have to bow down and I have to worship him. She just saw a beautiful, handsome man, and she said, oh, I want this man. So this is not kind of pure desire. But because she had this desire for Krishna, then that lust was purified. So in the same case, we might say, okay, but I don't love Krishna that way. I don't have this desire for Krishna. But usually, when we decide something, or we decide to be with someone, or desire usually means that you want to possess that person. So instead of possess, we should think that we should serve that person. Like for example, if it's a wife, we should help her to go more close to Krishna. If it's a husband, we should help the husband to go more close to Krishna. Or if we have a daughter or sister or friend, we should help the people that are around us to go more close to Krishna. Our thought should be, okay, how can I help the person that I have in front of me to go more close? Because the more you help people to go close to Krishna, the more Krishna sees you and say, this devotee is endeavor. He's not thinking of himself or itself. He's thinking to take people to me, and he's really pleasing. If you want to please Krishna, you have to serve him in a way that you can understand to other people is glorious. In this way, he becomes pleasant. It's like here, if I'm here and maybe someone is speaking about me in the other room, I say, oh, even if it's my nature, I say, oh, someone said Akarsini. What are they saying? I want to know. This is how each one of us, if we say, I don't know, Bhakta Peter or Mariana, I know only these names, but if you listen, you say, oh, someone is speaking about me. Oh, this is. So Krishna says, oh, so this person is speaking about me. He's speaking to others. Oh, let me listen what he's saying. And then it become, it become close to us. So if we want to please Krishna, we have to first of all take the knowledge from the books and try to understand how he's pleased. And then also we have to give that same knowledge to other people. This is the best, and Krishna will be very happy. And then the other example that Prabhupada says here, or also how to engage anger in Krishna's service. Like for example Arjuna. Arjuna, when he had to fight, and one cannot fight if he's not angry, if he's like humble like that, or oh please, come and give me another, just send me some gun or whatever, Brahmastra. No, he has to fight, so he has to engage his anger. And anger. He has to do it. And so the same Hanuman is the most famous devotee of Krishna, and is very famous. And what he did, he went to see Sita Devi, he went to Lanka, because he had to give the message to Sita Devi that Lord Ramachandra is coming to rescue. So when he arrives there, he gave the ring to Sita Devi, and then somehow someone told that there is a monkey speaking with Sita Devi, and someone has to take him. So people from Ravana's side, they just catch Hanuman and they tied him. And they said, oh, now because you went to Sita and you went, they didn't want that he had to go to Sita. They tried to burn his tail. They said, we will burn you. We will burn you, have to die. And they didn't know that Hanuman is not a normal person. And so they even put the fire on his tail. They put fire. And Hanuman was so upset because he said, first he takes Sita. Now you are, because they were also offending the Lord Ramachandra, he said, then you are offending Ramachandra. And then he was so angry that he said, okay, now with this, the same tail, he just started jumping, and with this tail touching all the house, and he practically burned all the city was burned because he was doing like that with his tail on houses. And Sita Devi meanwhile could see that Hanuman, he said, oh, Hanuman is being catched and he's suffering. And she would say, oh, please, make this fire do not harm him, do not give him pain. And Hanuman, while he was putting fire everywhere, he was thinking, how come that I cannot feel this burning sensation? It's because Sita Devi was praying, please don't let Hanuman suffer. And so in this way, Hanuman was engaging his anger and Krishna's service. So usually, it is said that when we hear someone who is offending Krishna or his devotee, we should become angry. We should say no. It's like if someone offend your mother or your father or someone who is very dear to you, you are not so peaceful. You say, hey, what are you saying? It's not like that. So usually we should. This is a good way to use, like if you see that someone is offending devotees or offending Krishna, you may say, first it is said that you should philosophically discuss about this person. You should say, okay, let's see things from a philosophical point of view.